So, you may know that A Knight of Seven Kingdoms is basically based on the stories called Tales of Dunk and Egg. And thankfully enough, Jet City Comics collaborated with Ben Avery and George R.R. Martin to turn the first story, The Hedge Knight, into a 6-issue comic book, the first issue of which I am going to explore in this video. Now, Seven Kingdoms is also a 6-episode TV show, so every issue from the comic is more or less the depiction of the corresponding episode. With that out of the way, let's begin. The Hedge Knight, issue number 1, The Barony of Squires. Death has a way of finding you, no matter where you are, who you are. And that is the first cruel lesson Dunk learns. He stands in the rain with a wooden shovel, carving a grave into wet earth, while the body of Sir Arlen of Pennytree lies nearby, stiff and silent beneath a tree. The rain almost feels like mercy, as though the gods themselves have decided to soften the ground for him. Dunk keeps digging anyway, because stopping would mean thinking too much. When the hole is finally deep enough, he lifts his knight with care and lowers him in, as gently as a man his size can manage. As he works, memories creep in whether he wants them or not. Sir Arlen lived close to 60, which already makes him lucky by the standards of Westerosi roads. He had ridden from keep to keep, taken service where he could find it, fought when asked, and moved on once the war banners came down. Dunk had followed him everywhere as his squire, eating at the same tables, sleeping under the same roofs, and learning what little there was to learn from a hedge knight's life. Still, Dunk always imagined a better end for him. Sir Arlen had once ridden against a prince of Dragonstone at Storm's End. 7 hard passes where lances splintered again and again. He lost that day, but he never saw it that way. He used to say that breaking 7 lances against the finest knight in the realm counted as victory enough. Dunk believed that, which is why seeing him die beside a muddy road feels wrong. Sir Arlen himself seemed to know how this would end. For years, he counted sunsets and greeted each morning with curiosity rather than fear. Now Dunk stands alone. He apologizes for leaving the sword out of the grave, because a living man needs it more than a dead one, and then he thanks Sir Arlen for everything he ever taught him. When the earth finally covers the body, the sun creeps up over the horizon and reality sets in. Dunk takes stock of what remains: armor, a shield, 3 horses, and a small purse of coins. If he sold Thunder, Old Chestnut, and the Tack, he could scrape together enough coin to start over somewhere else. A city guard post in Lannisport or King's Landing would mean steady meals and fewer ret nights. He could even try to squire for another night. All of it sounds sensible, and none of it feels right. When he looks at Sir Arlen's shield, battered and honest, his choice makes itself. This life may be hard, but it is the only one he knows. He draws Sir Arlen's sword and raises it, testing the weight. It fits his hand well enough, and that feels like a sign. There is a tourney at Ashford Meadow in a few days, and the thought takes root fast. By nightfall, Dunk reaches the inn outside Ashford and spends some of his coin on a proper meal and enough ale to dull the edge of grief. Even so, he decides to sleep outside rather than waste money on a room. Caution dies hard. That is when he spots a bald boy climbing out of the creek. Dunk assumes he is a stable boy and orders him to tend to the horses. The boy answers with attitude instead of obedience, which forces Dunk to claim his knighthood out loud. The boy looks him over, points out his size, his rough look, and the rope that passes for a sword belt, and makes it clear that Dunk does not resemble the knights he has seen. Dunk scoffs and walks away, still giving orders. Inside, the inn feels abandoned. One man lies passed out at a table, surrounded by empty cups. The innkeeper offers Dunk food and ale, and he accepts both, even going so far as to order lamb and duck. She asks after her son and the horses, and Dunk nods along. The whole town has gone to Ashford for the tourney, she says, though she does not see the point of knights or jousts. They do nothing for folk like her, and they certainly do not lower the price of eggs. Dunk barely listens. With ale in his belly and Sir Arlen gone, he feels bold enough to say that he plans to win the tourney himself. The woman smiles at that, though whether in kindness or disbelief is hard to tell. Before she can answer, the man at the table jolts awake, stares straight at Dunk, and lunges toward him. He babbles about a dream and shouts for Dunk to stay away, as though he has seen something terrible and cannot tell whether it was sleep or waking life. Dunk calls the man my lord out of habit, because the clothes and the attitude scream nobility, but the innkeeper tells him not to bother. The fellow drinks, dreams, and does little else. Sure enough, once the man studies himself, all he wants is more wine and the comfort of a woman's legs, neither of which he can get tonight since Ashford has pulled every whore for the tortie. Dunk clocks him for what he is and lets the matter die. After the meal settles, Dunk steps outside to clear his head, and that is when Thunder starts neighing like something is wrong. Dunk bolts for the stables, half expecting blood, and instead finds the bald boy from earlier perched on Thunder's back, dressed head to toe in Sir Arlen's armor and playing at knighthood. Dunk laughs despite himself and calls him a thief, though there is no real heat in it at first. Then the reality sets in. Thunder is a warhorse, and warhorses kill foolish boys without effort. Dunk tells him that this stunt could have ended his life. The boy answers with defiance, says he could ride Thunder as well as Dunk ever could, and that earns him a sharper tone. Dunk makes him strip off the mail and helm, and orders him to clean every piece. The boy obeys, but something about him does not line up. His words say one thing, his eyes another, and his posture tells a third story altogether. When he asks about the tourney at Ashford, and hears that Dunk plans to go, the boy pleads to come along. Dunk refuses and says his mother would never allow it, which is when the boy corrects him. His mother died long ago. Dunk, still half drunk and not thinking clearly, assumes the boy belongs to the inn somehow and pushes past the discomfort. The truth comes out soon enough. The boy is an orphan, much like Dunk once was, and he had been taken in by Sir Arlen before the old knight passed. He pushes harder now, says he could serve as Dunk's squire, and points out, not unkindly, that Dunk looks like a man who needs one. That crosses a line. Dunk snaps, threatens him, and orders him to pack oats for the horses instead. The boy shoots him a look full of resentment but keeps quiet and does the work. While he does, Dunk argues with himself. He could take the boy along, but a Hedge Knight's road chews people up, and the boy might be safer here. Dunk flips him a copper when he leaves, and tells himself that this choice was mercy. Still, he feels the boy's stare burn into his back long after he rides away, and it does not stop until Ashford disappears behind him. By dawn, Dunk reaches the meadow and slows at the sight of it. Tents stretch across the land, banners snap in the air, and every great house seems to have sent a knight or two. Dunk silently thanks Sir Arlen for drilling sigils into his head, because without that, he would stand here blind. He spots the nightingales of Lord Caron, the crowned stag of Sir Lionel Baratheon, the huntsman of Tarley, Don Darion's lightning, the Fossaway apples, and colors from houses like Lannister, Penrose, Marbrand, Hightower, and Frey. Everyone has come to honor the Lady of the Lists and chase glory. Dunk knows better than to pitch his camp among them. Mockery would follow, loud or quiet, and he has no stomach for either. He rides off instead and finds a bend in the creek about half a mile away, where the water pools deep. He washes the road off his skin, dries under an elm, and lets the warmth sink in. A dragonfly hovers nearby, and Dunk wonders, not for the first time, why anyone named them after dragons. He's never seen a dragon himself, but Sir Arlen had, and Dunk had made him tell that story more times than he could count. Sir Arlen had been a boy when his father took him to King's Landing, where he saw the last dragon. She was small, her wings withered, her eggs dead. King Aegon, the third of that name, had poisoned her, so the story went, because fear ruled him. He had seen his mother die beneath dragonfire, and never shook it. Sir Arlen always ended the tale the same way, saying summer shortened and winters grew cruel once dragons vanished. Dunk thinks of that now as he walks back toward Ashford. The field buzzes with merchants and noise. He passes stalls and spots puppeteers drawing a crowd with the tale of a knight who slew a dragon. Dunk watches while he eats, though his eyes linger on the man pulling the strings more than the puppets themselves. He keeps his coin, knowing he needs it for armor. That need leads him to Steely Pate, a blacksmith with a tent near the edge of the field. Pate sizes him up, nods, and shows him a suit that fits. It lacks ornament, but it would hold. The price, though, lands like a hammer. 800 stags was far beyond Dunk's reach. Dunk offers Sir Arlen's armor in trade. Pate agrees to cut 200 off if the old gear holds up. Dunk hands over 2 silvers as promise money and swears to return the next day with the armor and the rest of the coin. As he walks back to his camp, doubt creeps in. Can he stand against knights from great houses? Even Sir Arlen had found peace in losing to the Prince of Dragonstone, so what right does Dunk have to expect more? The question dies when he sees smoke ahead. His camp bonds. Someone has taken his horses and Sir Arlen's armor with them, or so he fears. Dunk charges forward with sword and shield ready, only to stop short. The fire belongs to the ball boy. He sits there calm as can be, fish roasting over the flames, as though this had always been the plan. And that's where the first issue ends. I would be creating a playlist of these 6 comic books. Hope to see you around.